You can, whenever you hear that whistle, to know that the time for the attendance or departure for workers in that institution that resembles the state has come. Atbara City, Sudan Railway's presidency. An institution whose founding dates back more than 100 years. An institution that directly affected the country economically, socially, and even culturally. Was the role model for civil service. Railways Museum. Through its collections, the museum narrates the history of that institution. The museum's exhibits are distributed among the outdoor country yard, which contains Victoria Gate and a number of railway cargo cart and locomotive, and in between the showroom that contains the rest of the exhibits. The museum is associated in the minds of many of its visitors with the character of Mr. Mustafa Ahmad Fadl. The man came up with the idea of creating the museum.
Okay, this cupboard we have some documents concerning the selling of this building, which is it was the Anglican Church, to Sudan Railways in the year 1965, and we have the contract of selling, and we have all the papers concerning this occasion. Queen Victoria Gate. This gate is the main gate of Khartoum Railway Station, Central Khartoum Railway Station, and it was erected in the southern end of Queen Victoria Street in Khartoum, which is known now as Palace Street. This gate was famous because it is one of 5 important or similar gates in the world. 2 of them here in Sudan, this one of Khartoum Railway Station, and the other one is the Republican Palace Gate in Khartoum. The third one is Beckenham Palace Gate in London. The 4th one is Cairo Railway Station Gate, and the 5th one is the Republican Palace Gate in India. And this gate was erected in the year 1902, and it was picked up in the year 1991. And in its place, we constructed a street which is known as the Yuquan Street. Many residents who visited Sudan in the era of General Aboud had passed through this gate, because in that era, General Aboud was taking them to visit Al Jazeera Board and to visit Dindir National Animal Park at that time.
Timekeeper had tested in Sudan Railways Corporation's workshops in Atbara in the year 1990, but it wasn't applied. It had been tested only. It worked by putting the worker's card inside, so it typed the coming and leaving time.
Okay, in this cupboard we have some documents and some photos concerning the opening of Atbara for Sudan Railway after construction in the year 1906, in January 1906. and also the railway of Karima, Atbara Muhammad Karima, and that was in March 1906. Also in this we have some samples or some copies of the bulletin of Sudan Railway's bulletin of 1947, and also we have some different bulletins and some newspapers concerning Sudan Railways. In this said one, we have some documents concerning the those of the visitors book of Sudan Railways, and in it we have some signatures and some comments of the visitors to Sudan Railways workshops from the year 1927. Also, we have a sanctuary atlas, Phillips Atlas of the world, and that was from the year 1834 to 1934. Here in this cover we have some. Documents concerning the handwritten comments from different presidents who visited Sudan Railways. For example, Ismail Ashari is the president of Sudan, Kenneth Kaunda of Zambia, we have General Abud of Sudan, and some ambassadors, and some people famous people who visited Sudan Railways workshop at that time.
This balance was in the main treasury in Khartoum in the year 1950. It was used to weight the British coins and the Egyptian coins as well, which was used for Sudanese people as the predominant currency in Sudan at that time. This iron scissors was used in Sudan Railway's department and Sudan Railway's quarter to cut papers and cartons from the year 1950 to the year 1995. Sealing wax heater was used to heat red wax so as to seal the confidential documents and consignments.
Historically, it had known that the Boy Scout movement was established in Sudan Railways workshops in the year 1913 by Mr. Jackson, the head inspector of the workshops at that time. And it was spread through Sudan Railways to all over the Sudan. Also, Mr. Pardenbaum, the man who established the Boy Scouts movement in the world, he visited the headquarters of Sudan Railways in the year 1935 to make sure of the spread of the Boy Scouts movement in Sudan Railways and in the country as a whole. And now we are in front of these three logos of Sudan Railways. The first logo is from the year 1906. First of all, the headquarters of Sudan Railways was at Wadi Halfa till the year 1906, and it was transferred to Atbara at that time. This logo was from the year 1906 to 1960, and it shows three important departments in Sudan Railways who are direct relation with the movement of the trains. Workshops of the mechanical and electrical engineering department, this locomotive, the steam locomotive, and this then black, this green and red color, this indicates the traffic department of Sudan Railways, and this line indicates the civil engineering department in Sudan Railways. In the year 1960, in the era of General Abud, they brought the third diesel locomotive to replace the steam locomotives, and then the logo was turned to this sign from steam locomotive to diesel locomotive. In the year 1991, there was a conference here in Nile Valley University, and in this conference they recommended this logo, which is now this is the logo of Sudan Railway, but it indicates only civil engineering department. this warning sign, or this warning board, it was erected in the southern end of Khartoum Railway Station, and it was written in 3 languages. Beware of transcycled dismount in English language, and then it was written also in Arabic language, and it was written in Greek. And why Greek? Because many of the Greeks and Indians and Armenians and Coptics entered to Sudan with the 2 campaigns of Kitchener, and they were working as merchants, and some of them were students in the universities and so on. And this was written to warn them from the movement of the shunting trains inside the Khartoum railway station.
These are different types of battery lamps, which were used by station sleepers, shunting labourers, and railway tracks labourers since the year 1975. It was applied after the kerosene lamps.
Here in this room we have this packet, the zinc packet, which was used in Sudan Railway since the 50s of last century, and it was used to carry water in the houses and in the passenger trains. And then we have this rubbish basket, which was used in the different offices of Sudan Railway. We have also this drinking water container, which was constructed in the workshops of Sudan Railways, and it was used also for the offices and for the laborers. This packet, which we called the guffa, which was made from the palm branches and so on, it was used by the permanent way laborers and by the maintenance permanent way workers to make soil or to put soil or to construct the pavements of Sudan Railway. Here in this table we have these 2 models of the German locomotive which entered Sudan in the year 1975, and the English locomotive entered Sudan in the year 1960. In this board we have the celebration of Sudan Railways for the sojournization of the job of the General Manager of Sudan Railways from the year from 28 June or July to 2010. The first General Manager of Sudan Railways who became the Sudan General Manager he was Muhammad Al-Fadl, or Engineer Muhammad Al-Fadl, who came to this post in the year 1957 instead of Mr. Parkinson, who was the last General Manager of Sudan Railway, who departed Sudan in the year 1957. Here we have also these photos which concern the sub-line which was constructed to the place of the refinery, the petroleum refinery in front of Ajay. And also we have another photo there which shows the construction of the railway from Sinnar to Ruseris in the year 1954. Also we have here some furniture. This table was constructed in the carpenter workshop in Sudan Railways, and it was used for the alcohol bottles and the cups in the passenger trains, for example. And these 2 furnitures were given from us from the General Manager Department office in Atbara.
The weight of railways track benders were 50, 75 and 90 pounds per yard. They were used to tie rails to each other and to fix the rails on the wooden sleepers. They were applied at the same time of the railway tracks, which was the year 1897 up to the present time.
Okay, this cupboard, this first cupboard, we have some books concerning Atbara town, which were written by some authors, by some different authors. And here we have in this table some books which also were written by different authors for Sudan Railways. In the third one, we have some documents and some regulations concerning Sudan Railways as a whole, and concerning also the various departments of Sudan Railways. Okay, now we are in front of this key, semaphore key. And semaphore key is one of the telecommunication systems of Sudan Railways, and it is always erected about 1 kilometer in front of the station. And we asked one of the foreigners, or the British foreigners who came here to Sudan, who visited us in this museum, and we asked him about the meaning of semaphore. He told us that semaphore means see me before, as if it is speaking with the driver, and it calls him to stop if it is closed, or to enter if it is open. This is steel coach. It was used for goods, and it was constructed in Atbara workshop by the Sudanese laborers, and that was in the year 1912. And this is one of those coaches which were working at that time in the trains of Sudan Railways to take coaches, to take goods and so on from place to place and from station to station. And this one is a steam locomotive, a shunting locomotive, which was used in the year 1951 in the different stations of Sudan Railway just to prepare the train for the main line locomotive to come and pull them to their direction, to the direction, or to the front direction, to the other station, and so on. It was working inside the station just to collect the cars and to prepare the train for the main line locomotive. Okay, this is a goods wagon, and it was used only to take the sacks of wheat, sugar, coal, and so on. And this one was constructed in Wadi in South Yorkshire in Britain in the year 1901.
The check printers were used in printing press to print the value on the checks. It applied in the year 1950. This telephone made in Pakistan in 1983. It used to call the nearest stations only to send information since the 50s of the last century to present time. It called a hand telephone. This telephone was the private telephone of Sheikh Omar Muhammad Al-Amin, the marriage official of Atbara town. He was using this telephone since the 50s of the 20th century to receive calls concerning demands of editing the contracts of marriage. Because it was the only one telephone in the quarter, he was allowing other residents to use it free of charge in their talk with their relatives at and outside Atbara town at any time of the day. And this telephone was the gift from his family to the Railways Corporation Museum in Atbara.
In this table, we have, in this cupboard, we have the list of all the general managers of Sudan Railways during the Turkish era and after the during the colonization of the British colonization, and those who were working in Sudan Railways as general managers. And also we have the organization chart of Sudan Railways in the year 1957 in English and in Arabic. And also we have the last letter of Mr. Parkinson, who was the last general manager, the last British general manager of Sudan Railways, who left Sudan Railways in the year 1957. In the third cupboard, we have the timetable of the passenger trains from Sawakin to Atbara and from Atbara to Sawakin, and we have some photos concerning the construction of Sawakin Atbara Railway and Mr. Minget, who was the Governor General of Sudan at that time while he was opening this line. Also we have a photo of Osman Digna, one of the Mahdi leaders, and Mr. Rajal Jarahan, who was chasing Osman Digna and he was trying to capture him at that time.
This calculator used to count salaries and achieve accounting operations. They started using this calculator in Sudan Railways Corporation in the year 1960 to the year 1980.
Okay, in this table we have some samples or some photos concerning the first computer which was used in Sudan Railways in the year 1948, and that was one of the old generations of the computers which was using the punching cards. Also we have some samples of the punching cards, and also we have some samples of the floppy disks which came to Sudan, or which entered Sudan Railways in the year 1990 by the personal computer. Here in this cupboard we have some samples of the catering department tools, for example the cups and the forks and the knives and the scissors, and also we have this build of those who were working in the catering department, and also we have the lemonade, for example lemonade bottles which were used in Sudan Railways at that time. Sudan Railways catering department was separated from Sudan Railways in the year 1979, and it was added to the tourism department. Here in this cupboard we have different samples of the tickets which were used in the training or in the passenger trains, the trains which were used since the year 1904. And we have also some tickets which were used privately for free tickets for the notable persons here in Sudan Railways or notable persons in the government of Sudan. We give them these tickets to take our trains freely. Now we are in front of the two models of the steam locomotive parts, which were brought in the year 1950 by the British administration in Sudan Railways to train the fitters of the workshops of Sudan Railway workshops here in Atbara, and to also to train the train drivers to train them in the path of these steam locomotives which were brought to Sudan in the era of the British government or the British colonization in Sudan.
This clock was the main and famous clock in Atbara station. It was working from the year 1950 to the year 1985.
Here in this cupboard we have the Union Jack, or the flag of Britain, which was hanging on the headquarters of Sudan Railways till 1 January 1956 to announce the independence of Sudan. Also we have a photo here for Edward VIII, the Prince of Wales, who later became King Edward VIII of Britain. We are accompanied by Wingate in the station, in the railway station here in Atbara. We have also four important or notable photos concerning the notable British leaders at that time, General Gordon, Lord Cromer, General Kitchener, and General Wingate, the Governor General of Sudan at that time. This motor trolley, which is called a gang motor trolley, a gang because it was used by a gang of district engineers and a gang of inspectors, or permanent way inspectors, who move with this trolley, and they move to they go and to follow the work of the laborers of the permanent way laborers in maintaining the lines, and they write all their problems just to solve them when they go back to their offices.
This kind of clocks was used as office clocks in Sudan Railways offices from the year 1950 to the year 1970.
This cup in this box, it was the cup of the Trade Union of Sudan Railways, which was awarded to Sudan Railways administration in the year 1974. And this cup, or these two cups, were awarded to the best house which grows either fruits or either flowers and so on. And that was from the beginning of the colonization, British colonization, till the 90s or the 70s of last century. This cup was the cup of the Fruit Society, which was given to Sudan Railways administration in the year 1972. This one is the production cup, which was given in the competition of the different departments of Sudan Railways, and it was awarded to Sudan Railways Personnel Department in the year 1980. This one is the old cup, and it was Barker's cup. And Barker was the general manager of Sudan Railways during the period 1925 to 1932, and it was used for the competition of the football teams between the different departments or the various departments of Sudan Railways.
The balance of the envelope letters was applied from the year 1945 to the year 1970. It was used to weight the envelopes so as to determine the price of it. Telephones. The telephone on the left is a wooden wall telephone made in England in 1950. It was used by the control offices and station master offices in the 50s of the last century. The one on the right was used in the offices of Headway and the houses which belong to the Railways Corporation as well. This TV set was 20 inches. It was black and white, imported by Sudan Railways Corporation in 1976 from Al-Kuwait and sold to the employers by 112 Sudanese pounds to pay up by installments. This TV set was worked by touch.
Okay, this is a manual tool. This is a manual used trolley, and it is used by the permanent way laborers to maintain the lines. And this trolley was constructed in the workshops of Atbara by the Sudanese laborers in the year 1972. It is similar to those which entered the campaign in the year 1897. This brake van, we call it brake van because we put it in the rear of the train, and the man who is working inside, he assists the driver of the train in front. If he sees anything wrong, he can stop the train. This wooden brake van was constructed in Wadi Halfa workshops in the year 1904. At that time, it was one of the main parts of the train.
Signaling lamps. These lamps were also using kerosene for lighting up. The small one at the left was using as a signal in the stations for the train drivers. The black one was using by the shunting laborers in the station. Train lamps were using inside the train. The red lamp was using at the last couch of the train to indicate that this is the last car of the train. The black lamp was putting in the semaphore sign, using the green light as a warning sign for the driver when he entered or came in the station. Gasoline lamp was used in the great stations as Khartoum Station and Atbara Station of Sudan Railways since the year 1920 up to the year 1955.
Here in this cupboard we have some belongings of Sudan Railways. For example, we have the shoe of the office boys and their cap, the head cap of the office boys, and also we have the case in which they were taking they were carrying the papers and the letters to the different departments, and also we have the stencil paper in which we print more than hundreds of papers, and we have the pen in which we write in the stencil paper, and this we don't use ink, but it makes scratches in the stencil paper. Also we have the import of the stencil paper. In the third one we have some stamps of different periods. For example, we have the stamp of 1896 in the era of the British colonization, and also we have the stamp of Muhammad Abdurrahman is one of the general managers of Sudan Railway, and also the stamp, the gate stamp, and we have the tickets stamp. Also we have the caches with which we printing the diagrams in the regulation of the permanent way laborers. Permanent way laborers, that's who repair, who maintain the lines and the sleepers of Sudan Railway. We have the book, the book of the regulation book of the permanent way, and the diagrams which we use these caches to print them in the book. Also in this cupboard we have samples of the coal which was used in the steam locomotives at that time, and also we have two hats, one of the drivers and others of the steamers, and also we have the packet with which we were taking the oil, and also these first aid substances which we used to protect the legs of the laborers while they were carrying heavy things and so on. There are also some signs used by the police and the fire brigade police. Okay.
These are train passengers ticket printers made in England in 1953 and 1963 and served up to the year 1995. These printers were printing tickets to all the railway corporation stations in Sudan. They were used by a worker called Abdullah al-Ahmar. These are ordinary American typewriters. They were used to print documents and letters since the year 1965 to 1985. This printer came up with English typewriter manual for training.
Okay, this is one of 5 steam locomotives which entered the Sudan in the Turkish era, and that was in the year 1873. And this locomotive, or these 5 locomotives, were serving in the ferries line which was constructed from Wadi Halfa to Karma, about 327 kilometers. And when came Kitchener in the campaign, the first campaign to recapture Dongola, he used these 5 locomotives to supply his campaign with food, ammunition, and with their needs, because he was moving with river steamers. And then he used these 5 locomotives and added about 20 locomotives and 200 cars to serve his campaign to Sudan, or to campaign or to recapture Omdurman. And that campaign in which he fought this great battle, the Kerry battle, which ended the Mahdi's government and began the English colonization in Sudan for 58 years after that. These locos now are not existing, and this is the only one which is existing here in Sudan. diesel locomotive or these diesel locomotives were using inside the stations, and it is a shunting locomotive. This was used between Port Sudan station and the harbor, and they were using this between Port Sudan station and the harbor instead of the steam locomotives, because they were afraid of that steam locomotive, and they were afraid of the fire and so on, because the steam locomotive was using coal and this was using furnace and so on. This tool, which is similar to a cannon, it was a fire extinguisher which was